Uh, you're muted.
Oh, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm unmuted now. Thank you, Dylan.
You're welcome.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special edition of Shadow Zone. As you can tell, I am the slasher host with the most, Brian James. And with me is the host of Shadow Zone, Mr. D.
Well, hello.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Wonderful, man. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy Friday. But today is a very special day, guys. It is Friday the 13th, and we are here to tell you that we have myths, we have legends, and we have facts that are going to make you go, ooh, ooh,
It's
ooh.
gonna make your mind explode.
So, without any further ado, Dylan, the floor is yours.
All right. So I have a lot of facts with me, right? Mainly the myth and legends, and I guess they're quite more fiction, but they're interesting to the ear, I guess. So I'm going to have to be sadly checking notes a lot. So please mind uh, or whatever. Just don't pay
Well,
attention. Just listen.
Dylan, before you do this, I want to ask everybody watching a question first. Who was the killer in Friday the 13th?
Ooh. Anyone? Can anyone
Go
name the
ahead,
killer
Dylan.
from Friday the 13th?
Everybody's allowed to answer throughout the podcast. I'll let you know at the end. Dylan, aw, and ooh are banned.
so, um, let me see here. I'm already messing up. Wow, how about that? So there is a lot of folklore, and it's mainly myth, but there's been a lot of talk, right? And there's 12 gods, and they were all ready for, I think, a meal, right? Then Loki, the god of mischief, invited himself. He was not invited to this meal, and he oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh, PD Region says, I know. Well, we will get to you at the end, I guess. So, like I said, there's 12 gods having dinner. And then Loki invited himself as the 13th god. And it's okay, it's okay, go, go. Um, he arranged for, I don't know if I'm saying this name right, Hooer, to shoot Boulder with a mistletoe tip arrow, which is what I believe to be the only arrow to be able to kill a god. And as this was brain, my brain's melting right now. It was one of the saddest days in Earth, and it was one of the darkest hours. Um, this is where the number 13 becomes one of the most unlucky numbers to North mythology. Um, oh wow, and I feel like I'm really having to do nothing but read. I did not study up on this. I feel kind of bad. Brian, please help me.
Yeah,
Brian,
you're doing fine, little buddy.
no, I'm stuttering. It's not good.
So
Doing
pretty
nothing but
much,
stuttering.
guys. Um, so that's where the number 13 is considered unlucky. Um, where Friday is unlucky, the Christians believe that Friday is the unluckiest day of the week because that is when Jesus actually got crucified, was on a Friday. So if you think about it, you take those two problems and it becomes Friday the 13th. Am I right?
It does, yeah. Friday, which is, I do believe is one of the what the I think the Christians call the Good Friday.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And there's 13 individuals present in the upper room when Jesus was having his last meal. It's an interesting
Uh-huh.
fact for you guys.
There we go. There we go. What else you got for us?
All right. So I guess you can call it a dog barking.
Rough, rough, baby. Rough, rough.
All right. So while there is evidence that both Friday and the number 13 being considered unlucky, there is no record of the two being referred to as especially unlucky in conjunction before the 19th century. So that's another interesting fact for you guys. Oh, oh, there's now a lot of people over.
Go to the room. Well, with all of that, we have some other interesting facts as well for the myth and the legend. We did not expect, however, from to have a bunch of people coming over, a dog barking, and all of that. Chris Sunshine Reed says hello from the Girl Ghost Hunters.
Hello.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
now
Uh, oh
continue
yeah, I'm
on, sir.
listening.
Continue on.
So I just gotta apologize for my stuttering. Like I said before, I did not quite get the chance to study up as much as I wanted to, which means I did not retain a lot of information on this subject. So I must apologize to everyone watching if this is a nothing but a stutter fest, because that's what it feels like to me right now. So moving on into the 19th century. All right. An early document referenced in English, I do believe, occurs in H.S. Edwards. Can I have confirmation?
Yes, confirmation.
Okay. Okay. Uh, there's a name that I cannot remember. I'm going to real quick check my notes because we luckily we did take notes, so I'm going to check my notes real quick. Um 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 Gioacchino Rossini, who died on a Friday the 13th. So there's another fun fact for you guys. I don't know who that is. Uh, sorry, I did not take any notes on that. Oh wait, no, no. Okay, never mind. I did. Rossini was surrounded to the last by admiring friends, and is to be true that like so many Italians, he recorded Friday as an unlucky day and the 13th as an unlucky number. Oh my gosh. Oh, Bubba, Brian, help, help.
Here's your life vest.
Oh, thank God. It's hard to stay afloat over here. These are rough waters. All right, so say something so I can think.
All right, so skipping over Dylan's stutter fest over here. Just kidding, Dylan. We know we love you, buddy. We love you.
Thank you,
Now,
thank you. I'm trying.
according to the Stress Management and Phobia Institute Center in Asheville, North Carolina, it is documented that an estimate of 17 to 21 million people in the United States alone that are affected by Friday the 13th. And this is, for some reason, the most feared day in history. And some are so paralyzed in fear by this day that they avoid doing business. They avoid doing their own daily routine, taking flights, and honestly, even getting out of bed. Now, this day has been estimated that $8 to $9 million will be lost on every Friday the 13th. And there's also a study that shows an increase of 52% of accidents on Friday the 13th.
which is kind of crazy.
My theory about this is the reason there's so much more going on Friday the 13th, accident wise, is people are so feared of this day that something is going to go wrong that they don't really pay attention to what they're doing, and therefore, causes accidents and more problems. So, a couple of interesting facts of Friday the 13th deaths actually date back to 1307, where
Yes.
officers of King Philip IV of France, they arrested hundreds of the Knights Templar, who were a powerful religious military order formed in the 12th century for the defense of the Holy Land. And they were imprisoned on charges for alleged various behaviors. But honestly, they said that the king wanted access to all their financial resources, and many of the Templars were actually executed. And some people find a link to Friday the 13th, but with the Templars in this situation, they and the history, the truth remained kind of murky. Crystal says, "Hi guys, happy birthday, sweetheart. We love you." Um, Another really weird one was the German bombing of Buckingham Palace in September of 1940. Now, for many of you that know a little bit about that history, I believe that was during World War II, if I remember right. And yeah,
Have you
that
checked the notes?
that that took place Friday the 13th.
Have you checked the notes for that?
Actually, I have. There
Okay,
was
interesting.
also a cyclone that killed more than 300,000 people in Bangladesh, November of 1970. And once again, that was on a Friday the 13th. And let's see, what else was there? Ah, yes, the murder of Miss Kitty Giovanni in Queens, New York, March of 1964. There was the disappearance of a Chilean Air Force plane in the Andes in October of 1972. And here's something that's really going to blow your mind, guys. The infamous rapper Tupac Shakur died Friday the 13th on September of 1996.
Now, for anyone who is watching, all these are literally fun facts that we found for Friday the 13th. And everything, he's already said this, but everyone who has died that we have referenced, or however many people were killed, they were all on Friday the 13th. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And another good one was the Costa Cordelia cruise ship off the coast of Italy. And that killed 30 people in January of 2012. Crystal says, "My babies, look at you guys. I love you to pieces." Oh, we love you too, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Raymond G. Newsom says, "Are you trying to teach him everything he slept through in high school?" LOL.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I only slept through half of high school, and then I went out and went to Job Corps. Okay.
Melissa Ewing says, "Hi, guys. Happy Friday the 13th.
And a
You as
happy
well,
Friday the
sweetheart."
13th to you too.
Halfern Paranormal. "Hey, my brothers. What's up, Halfern?" So, before the superstitions of Friday the 13th really took place, there was a man by the name of Sam Patch who was known for his death defying stunts. And he made his name by actually leaping from a cliff near Niagara Falls, October 17th, 1829. Now, this guy was one of the first Evil Knievel's. And so Sam traveled to New York to leap into the Genesee River on Friday, November 13th, 1829. And he had some 10,000 people gazing upon another one of his death-defying jumps. Well, according to the New York Times, Sam Patch did not retain his position while descending as he did on his previous occasions to, like the previous jumps and everything.
Okay, I gotta say, look in the notes real quick and look at the side of the notebook. I left a very specific note because I forgot to add that in, and yeah.
Unlike you, I don't read notes, man. It's all in my head. Note reader. But anyways, guys,
Still look at the side.
he was actually intoxicated at the time he jumped from the cliff, and
Read it.
he did his last and final jump as when he jumped into the river, he didn't clear it and hit a cliff and died Friday, October 13th, 1829.
Now read the side.
What side, dude?
There should be
It
a little
just says
note on the
reports
side.
that Patch was intoxicated. Dude, I already told the fans that, jackass.
I know, but never mind. Okay, fine.
Hey, why don't you do me a favor, buddy? You better seen, not heard.
So keep my mic down the whole time so everyone can hear me.
Oh, whatever. All right, guys. So that pretty much covers our myths and our legends.
Yep.
Um, I guess there's only one thing left to do.
Talk about the man himself. But before we do that, we're about halfway in, and I think we should shout out the sponsors again.
Oh, yep. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we do have a word from our sponsor.
I did.
All right, Parapost Network.
That's
Those are our
still one of the
boys.
coolest things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, these commercials are phenomenal. And remember, guys, if you need a commercial made, you want an intro, an outro, a thumbnail, whatever you're looking for to jazz up your business or your podcast, come talk to us down here at Parafam Studios, and I promise you guys, we'll get you hooked up.
You know what? I'm gonna start a little side business. Okay. If any of you guys want me to edit something, just talk to me. We'll talk on the side.
What are you gonna edit from your phone?
Oh yeah. I forgot my computer's broken.
All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jason effin Voorhees. Now, most of you know Jason as a slasher of the silent type. You know he drowned because you saw that in the first movie.
And
But a
he
lot
was
of
one of the best
people,
killers alive.
are you done talking? Quit
Uh,
interrupting
no.
me. But what a lot of you people don't know is the actual backstory of one said Jason Voorhees. Now, Jason was born on June 13th in 1946 at the outskirts of Camp Crystal Lake by Elias Voorhees, who was his father, who ended up leaving before Jason was born, leaving just his mom, Pamela Voorhees, leaving her a single parent. Now, Jason was affected with severe facial deformities called hydrocephalus, which is an a hydrocephalus, sorry, an abnormally large head, and mental disabilities as well. And Jason's mom, Pamela, she didn't take him out into the community. She didn't put him in public schools. She kept him home pretty much, because she didn't want her baby being picked on and bullied. And so they ended up, he was homeschooled on the outskirts of Camp Crystal Lake. And his mental disorder and his education was limited, and his knowledge, was very restrained, other than
Hold on. Um, let's switch positions right now because I hear nothing but wind chimes and an airplane. So, one sec, folks. Uh, yeah, we'll get this fixed up real quick.
anyways, folks, sorry about that. It's a little windy here in Spokane. But you know, pretty much Jason, because of his mental disabilities and the lack of education, he pretty much only went with his mother's knowledge. Because he wouldn't have survived without the obedience towards his mother. Now, pretty much, Jason's obsession and obedience towards his mother took a strange turn and would really start showing during his puberty era. And after after his mom died, Jason would fantasize about hearing his mother's voice in his head, making him delusional and making himself a very vengeful force to be reckoned with. Now, so in 1957, Pamela was hired by the Christies as a cook for a summer camp, aka Camp Crystal Lake. But because she had no living relatives or anybody to help take care of Jason, she pretty much had to take Jason with her while she did this. Well, Jason didn't hang out with the kids. Jason hung out with his mama. And what that did is that infuriated the kids, making them think that Jason was more of a freak than what he really was. So they started bullying Jason. It started out really light at first, and it got heavier and heavier to the point that Jason ran out on the dock to get away from these kids, and they thought for a funny prank, they would just push Jason in the water. Well, little did they know that Jason did not know how to swim. So, as Jason is drowning in the water, he's screaming for his mom, and the counselors that are supposed to be watching the kids are out there too busy fornicating. So, unfortunately, poor little Jason drowned. Well, after the police were called, they combed the waters and they could not find Jason's body, which means one of two things. Either Jason did not drown, he found his way to land and survived, or two, he got caught on something and ended up staying in the water. Either which way, there was a police investigation, and they grilled the counselors and everybody, and they determined that the counselors had nothing to do with Jason drowning, so they let it go as just accidental death, pretty much. And the Christies were forced to shut down the camp, and pretty much there was nobody charged for that. In 1958, the camp reopened, and Pamela, who at this point in time was grieving and probably quite pissed off, she actually murdered the two camp counselors that were supposed to be watching Jason at the time, which was Barry Jackson and Colette Hayes. And Pamela was never suspected of the murders, but the autopsy did show that both Barry and Claudette died as a result of a homicide. So the camp closed once again, and the Christies tried to open it up in 1962, but because there was arsenic in the water source on the camp property, they they couldn't reopen it, and that was the last time that they tried. And throughout the 60s and 70s, there were random fires on the campsite property, but the fire department couldn't figure out who the hell was lighting the fires. Now, there was suspicion, very high suspicion, that it was Pamela Voorhees starting these fires for the simple reason that nobody had to go through the pain and the suffering that she had to go through when she lost her little Voorhees. Now, after all the tragedies at the camp, it led it to be abandoned, and the townsfolk started calling it Camp Blood, and also believed that the campground itself was cursed. Now, I would believe that the campground was cursed, but at the same time, I mean, let's think about it, guys. If Jason somehow survived the drowning, that would mean that Jason learned to live on his own while still actively searching for his mom. And I mean, there's nobody there to teach him anything, hence why he's mute. And, he survived off the woods, he built his own cabin, and initially probably said to himself, well, I'm going to find my way back into that camp. And anybody that comes in that camp is as good as dead. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the backstory of Jason Voorhees. I'm going to go ahead and read off some comments here, and then me and Dylan are going to switch positions, and we're going to talk about the actual movies of Friday the 13th. So Andy says, "What's up, brothers?" That is Mr. Paratech. What's up, Andy? Joseph Grimm. Hello, Brian. Long time no see. Yeah, right back at you, brother. Donnie Parker. Happy Friday the 13th, my friends. Happy Friday the 13th, Donnie. You need to get a hold of me, buddy. We need to talk. Kevin Williams says, hello. Hope all is well. Most definitely, sir. Hope all is well with you too, Philip. The Lion waves. Hello, Lion. Philip says, shared. Thank you, Philip. You rock, buddy. The Lion says, looking good, guys. Thank you, Lion. And Bev Berry says, hey. Hey, Bev. And I want you guys to not forget that shortly after this special edition of ShadowZone, we have Tiffany Tarot at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, where you can get your free tarot card readings. All you have to do is type in the comments, I would like a reading, and you're good to go. So, Dylan, get your long-haired hippie ass in here, grab these notes, and let's start talking about some Friday the 13th movies, my boy.
Sounds good. I'm not quite sure how well the audio works out here. It might be a little windy, so sorry if I haven't been talking. That is basically the only reason I haven't been talking, because of the fact it's windy with wind chimes, I think, are going everywhere, making a whole bunch of noise, and airplanes and cars and traffic are all making a whole bunch of background noise. So sorry, everyone.
Oh, man. Are you done talking finally? All right, folks, we are gonna switch positions here, so give us a couple seconds, and here's a word from our sponsor.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys loved the whole videos that were going on. I personally loved all that. All right, so now we get into the movies that were created, and I guess what they are, or no, whatever. Keep in mind, this is one of the only Friday the 13th movies where Jason is not doing the slashing. I messed up already. All right, Friday the 13th, the first debut in 1980 with Miss Voorhees being the serial killer to avenge her son on October. Wait, on the actors who played Miss Voorhees was Ari Lehman. Lehman. Lehman.
Lehman.
Lehman. Thank you, Brian. I'm horrible at reading. So, anything you want to add with that one? This is the first movie that was created, so please feel
You
free to add any background.
The first Friday the 13th for me was actually one of the most well put together ones. For the simple fact that you didn't know who it was until the very end.
Which made it a lot more suspenseful.
That and it shocked the shit out of a lot of people.
I would have to agree with that. I did watch the first movie, and I will say that it was one of my favorites, not my all-time favorite. And we will get into that later on.
If you ask me, the one thing they could have done better is when the girls in the canoe in the middle of the lake, Jason shouldn't have jumped up and grabbed her. She should have heard like a voice or something and went to that voice. And that's when Jason should have been introduced.
Yeah, that probably would have been better. But what when he jumped out, wasn't he a kid?
Huh?
When he jumped out, wasn't he still a kid?
He was.
So in that aspect, do you think you can explain that? Because like you were saying, he found a way out of the lake. But if he jumped out of the lake looking like he was very wrinkly from is the best term I can think of right now. Wrinkly from the water, as if he's been in the water for a really long time. How in the world would he have grown up if he was already dead? Do you think it's because of the curse?
It could be because of the curse, but it also could be because the lady was screaming when Jason dropped her. It should have been reality. She should have went to the voice, and she should have ran into grown-up Jason. That's my opinion.
Well, all right, and I love that opinion. It was a great opinion. All right, Friday the 13th, Part 2 in 1981. Jason was played by Stephen Dash. If anyone knows him, please, not knows him personally, if anyone knows the actor, you comment about it. And Warrington Gillette. Help me with that one. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
You were saying that.
All right, that's good. At least I'm not getting that one wrong. And in Part 2, he wore a sack over his face. Any comments on that one?
I kind of like this sack. It represented more of a small town feeling, and he kind of survived on that small town vibe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think the sack is a better look than the hockey mask, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, the hockey mask did did really put Jason as Jason in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, his background story was really cool, but the hockey mask it kind of made Jason who he is today.
Yeah, the hockey mask is what put him on the map.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. All right, Friday the 13th, 19. This is, I guess, this would be part three. This is a third movie. It took place when it was made in 1982. Jason was played by Richard Brooker. The hockey mask came from when Jason killed one of his victims. So, anything to say about that one?
That one was alright, and kind of off centered a little bit in my opinion, but good nonetheless.
hmm I'd say that one is another one of my favorites because of the fact it did give him the all time look of the hockey mask, but when it was brand new. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right. So Friday the 13th. This is the fourth one. It was made in 1984. Jason played by Ted White. This was one of the especially exceptional for me as this one had a young Tommy Jarvis played by Corey Feldman, which was okay. This one was one of my favorites, I would say, but like I said, it's not my all-time favorite, which will be stated later on. But Corey Feldman is a really good actor, and as well as being one of Brian's favorite actors for Friday the 13th, it is also one of mine because of the fact of all right, if no one has seen the fourth one, I'd say go see that one because I don't actually want to spoil anything just in case no one's seen anything. But Brian, what do you got to comment on that one?
Um, number 4 was especially good. It didn't have anything to do with Camp Crystal Lake per se.
hmm
You know, the third one really didn't either, as you know, it's weird the way they kind of tied together. But I thought Corey Feldman did exceptionally well as Tommy Jarvis
hmm
in Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, as do I. I think I already mentioned that though. All right, Friday the 13th, the fifth one, the fifth movie made. It was made in 1985. Jason played by Tommy Morgan. Roy Burns played by Dick Wayand. Wayand? Brian?
You're right.
All right. Used Jason's personal personality to become a copycat killer in a i- isolation where Tommy Jarvis is a man in an institute
All
where
right,
he was
so
moved.
this one really pissed me off.
hmm
I did not care for this one whatsoever. This was the second worst Friday the 13th ever made. Number one, the whole idea of the copycat killer is absolute bullshit. I mean, they could have got Jason to where they went to a camp and it was named something different, but they didn't. They played the mental game,
hmm
and the dude that portrayed Jason was actually the ambulance driver.
Was who?
The ambulance driver.
Okay. So I wasn't actually sure if I've seen that one, and now that you say that, I have seen that one.
Absolute crap show, but not bad death.
Well, well, I will have to say that is the only one where Jason is not actually playing himself.
That
So
is
yeah.
actually untrue.
All right. So Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which was made in 1986. Jason was played by C.J. Graham. In this movie, Jason gets his superhuman abilities. So, anything to add on that one, Brian?
This one here, Jason Lee. This was one of my favorite Friday the 13th, as it added more suspense to it.
Hmm.
Tommy Jarvis finally got his revenge on Jason.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but is this one where he got stabbed with the fence post and got struck by lightning to bring him back to life?
Absolutely.
All right, so I got a little
And
bit of knowledge.
yeah, the way it ended, they should have quit making the movies after that one. Jason got put back in his home, and they should have left it alone.
Hmm.
It was a beautiful ending to a beautiful series.
Indeed.
But like corporate America, they want more and more and more money. And after part six, in my opinion, this is where they started to lose the Jason franchise.
As it says right here, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. It was made in 1988. Jason is played by Kane Hodder. This was the Fell Connectal. Okay, I'm stuttering again, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going
All
to
right,
skip that
so
word.
this one here is where my favorite Jason Voorhees came into play. Honestly, they should have casted Kane Hodder from the second to the last one. Kane
Mhm.
Hodder is an amazing actor and did an amazing job. The
So,
love scenes were awesome. I didn't really care for the storyline. I mean, come on, Jason is not going to go mainstream into a town just to murder people. It's a bunch of bull crap to me. And the way they killed him off pissed me off even more. They take him and put him. They chase Jason chased the kids down to a sewer and pretty much killed him in toxic sludge. I would say this was probably my second favorite movie.
whoa, 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 whoa! It's going very windy again, and I think I hear the wind chimes, the wind for sure, and I think that's it. But it's going very bad. All right, so the one that you just mentioned was Part 8, which was made in 1989, and it was also played by Kane Hodder. I'm not. See, this is where I got confused because of the wind. I'm not sure if you stated that already, so I would like confirmation. You did? All right. Um, then you already basically said everything that needed to be known, especially how he died, which was from the toxic sludge, because he was submerged in it. All right. So, I was hearing the dog. All right. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, which was made in 1993, played by Kane Hodder again. Shh. This is in my opinion. This this is Brian. I think this is one of Brian's uh, most hated Friday the 13th, and I think it's because it killed the Friday the 13th franchise. And I do believe it has the lowest views and the lowest box office income. So, anything to state about that one, seeming how it's the most hated?
Let me tell you what. This was not only the most hated Jason movie of all time, not because of Kane Hodder, once again, amazing job, but the concept of it was freaking stupid.
Now,
Oh,
I
I'm
have to.
gonna eat a heart. Yum yum yum. Oh look, I'm Jason. Ooga booga booga.
Yep, that's the one I thought it was. Yeah, to me, that one was also my hated one. I did not like the fact how if you eat Jason's heart, you then become Jason because first of all, it's a stupid concept. You can't just become Jason if you eat his heart, and all of a sudden now Jason is possessing you. I'm also sorry if it's really loud in here.
Well, you see, this is where they killed Jason completely. Okay, it was the lowest box office moneymaker of all franchise in the Friday the 13th. It was also the lowest viewed of Friday the 13th series. This movie, I believe, pretty much killed not only the franchise, but classic horror movies in general. So, in my opinion, worst movie in the world.
And I can agree with that to the 100%. Now, Jason X, which was made in 2001, marks the last showing, I guess you can say, the last movie that, what's his name? Kane Hodder has ever played in for Jason. Um, yeah, until the reboot of 2009. Wait, was he in that one?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk about Jason X for a minute. Okay, so Jason X had a really cool concept. You know, I
Cool, but
really
weird.
like the storyline. They took it a little bit too B-listed,
Hmm.
but the fact that he was reanimated into one of the baddest looking Jasons I've ever seen was absolutely phenomenal. And that is actually one of my top five favorite Jason movies.
Oh man. All right. Well, not for me. But
Now
thankfully, the
that is
future.
also
Oh yes.
hold on a second. That was also the last Friday the 13th movie until the reboot in 2009.
I did say that. I think. But to me, Jason X was not even close to one of my favorites. It's right under Jason Goes to Hell, or right above, I should say, because I liked Jason X a little more than Jason Goes to Hell. But the only thing I think saved that movie was the fact that Jason didn't die too fast. He got destroyed by the android. Oh wait, hold on. Am I spoiling too much? Is it okay if I actually spoil? I need your opinion, Brian.
By all means.
All right, thank you. So the android utterly obliterated Jason, and then the nanotechnology that they had to be able to heal wounds was completely dumped all over Jason, making him basically invincible in a sense. When he was ejected out of the spacecraft, or no, the ship blew up, huh? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So after the ship blew up, I think he actually grabbed a hold of the pod that got ejected out and was holding on until they got back into the atmosphere. It's a little fuzzy to me. I think that's how it went, though. Am I wrong?
You're about right.
All right.
Okay, Dylan,
Then,
do me a favor.
oh, yeah.
Unplug your headphones from your phone and let's see if that clears the echo.
Oh, is that
Is that better? Can you hear me? You're on mute, buddy.
hello?
Okay. All right.
Did
Is
that
that
clear up
good?
echo?
Yes, it did.
Oh, well,
All right.
that's weird.
Peter McCraw said shared. Thank you, baby.
Thank you, Ted.
Jerry Willman says good day from Australia. Good day. Matt Barron says, what's up, everybody? What's up,
What's
Barron
up?
Native? PD Region says, hey, Barron. Sherry says, Slasher, you were echoing and that I am better. Oh my gosh, we have Mr. Fedora himself says, "Hey there, my friends." Well, hello, Mr. Fedora.
Hello.
All right, well, let's talk about the last Jason movie that was made.
I do believe that was Jason versus Freddy.
You are absolutely correct.
All right. Um. All right. Let me see here. I think it was made in 2003, where Jason was played by Ken Kurzager.
Hey, good luck pronouncing that one. PD says a comedy movie. LOL.
To me, I think the story plot was fantastic. I definitely loved the story plot in that one. I loved how they executed. The only thing that could have been better were the actors.
Um, okay. So this was the last time that Robert England played Freddy Krueger. In my opinion, it should have been Kane and Robert for this one. The storyline, you're absolutely correct, was fantastic.
Agreed. I loved it the whole way through.
Um,
And oh,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
is where it comes up to my favorite of all time, Jason, Friday the 13th.
Really, which one?
Freddy versus Jason. It's my
Um,
favorite of all time.
like you were saying, I mean, the storyline was great. The cast was absolutely horrible. They could have done way better casting. Um, the main blonde girl was nice to look at. Don't get me wrong.
Oh God.
Just the acting in general sucked. I mean,
Hmm.
who's gonna book Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child in a god dang horror movie? I mean, seriously.
Well, okay.
Now, hang on. I'm not done yet.
All right, I'm listening.
Now, the fight scenes, a couple of them were pretty epic. A couple of them were really crap. It could have been done better, but for what it was, I would give it maybe a 7 out of 10 because of the acting. The acting ruined it for me.
All right, even though the acting was right? I still think that Freddy versus Jason was still one of the best Jasons. It's literally my top one, only because it has two of my favorite horror characters in it, horror killers, and that is why it's number one for me. The acting doesn't bother me as much as it probably should. Um, I did like the hippie in it though, the stoner. He was awesome, and especially when he got possessed by Freddy, that was pretty cool too. I'm spoiling my most favorited part, or not part, that my most favorited movie, but I think that's fine because if you haven't seen it, how dare you? But
Um,
yeah.
let me tell you something. Um, we actually skipped over somehow my favorite Freddy movie, or Freddy, my favorite Jason movie.
Mm,
And that was the one, I can't remember what number it was, but the girl was, she had telekinesis and
that
she
would
was
be
trying to resurrect her father and resurrected Jason instead.
that
And
was
at
part
the
three.
end, after she battled Jason, her
Oh,
father comes up from the water and takes Jason back down.
that was part seven, which was created in 1988.
Part 6 and 7 were my absolute favorites. Now
And
let's get to some comments here.
all right.
Mr. Fedora says, I have a question. How many kills did Jason have in his very first movie?
Oh, in his very first movie, I think that was like what was his very first movie? I forget. Um,
We're not sure of deaths per movie, but we do have a fun fact for you coming up at the end, Mister One.
and
Uh,
we do.
Jerry says didn't like any of the Jason movies. Well, please
Oh,
tell which one of your horror movie characters were your favorite? Because I'm not a big Jason fan either. I'm more of a Freddy Krueger fan myself.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Mr. Warren Area Society of Paranormal says you are wrong on the Robert England. He played Freddy on the TV show The Goldbergs about a year ago. Holy shit! I did not know that.
The Goldbergs.
Melissa Ewing says I'm more of a Michael Myers fan myself. Hey,
Oh,
I'll put a mask on and stalk you anytime, baby. PD Regional says Halloween. All right, so we got some Michael Myers fans in here tonight. That's awesome.
and for the previous question with how many kills Jason had in his first movie, this is not including the very first movie of Friday the 13th, which was played by his mother, which is only I think 2 kills. I think
You're wrong
the
on that one.
am I?
Oh yeah, there was more than 2 kills in that movie.
Wow.
Now, get to the fun fact.
Oh, okay. Fun fact. All right. Fun fact. Jason racked up kill count of well over 200 people, making him one of the most well-known killers in slasher history. But not the person who trails right behind him is Michael Myers with an astounding 160 kills, I do believe.
Yep, that was after Halloween Kills.
Yep, that was after every movie.
Mr. Fedora says if you have not watched The Goldbergs, then by all means go check that out. They're amazing. I most definitely will.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna actually have to not read up, but watch that because that sounds really cool. Especially if Goldberg.
Mr. Warren got you, boy. I was talking about the first movie. Jason did not kill any. It was all his mother. His first kill was Alice Hardy. Atta boy,
See,
Fedora.
see, I did state something about that though. I said if you're talking about the very first movie, it wasn't Jason, it was his mother. So I did state something about that. So technically, I'm right.
Now, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, we have the USA Today's top 10 most scary villain list, which I absolutely disagree with almost every single one on here. They are
Me
way
too.
misplaced, and I'm sorry, just my opinion. I'll let Dylan spout them out, and then we'll go from there. Dylan, number 10.
All right, starting from the top, working our way down. Number 10 would be the Leprechaun. And I
Now,
will say that
wait,
we are
wait,
not.
wait.
Okay,
The
okay.
Leprechaun had, let's see, Leprechaun 1, 2, Vegas, Space, Lep in the Hood. He had 6 or 7 movies, mostly played by Warwick Davis, who, if you don't know who that is, that would be Willow. And fun little fact about that, that was actually Jennifer Aniston's first role in a movie.
I did not know that.
And everybody loves themselves some Jennifer Aniston, boy. Let me tell you. Melissa Ewing says, kinky.
She was talking about
Oh,
what you said earlier.
I'll tell you what, I'll wear a half Jason, half Michael Myers, and I'll be Two-Face, baby.
So number 9, taking the ninth
Absolutely,
spot
Mr.
in this poll.
Warren. Jennifer Aniston's breakout movie was Leprechaun's first movie. Yes, it was. PD Reason says Brian James was a good Jason in the intro for that podcast. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And Mr. Fedora says, "You said it as I was typing, LOL." Now, I do have a trivia question for all of you watching right now. There is a slasher mentioned in here that was Renee Zellweger's breakout movie, her first ever movie. Out of these top 10 killers, which movie did she star in?
All
Dylan,
right.
number 9.
Number 9, coming in at a ninth place, would be Ghostface.
Ghostface shouldn't even be on this list. He is not scary. He's a jackass.
Was it for most scary? No. Or was it? No, it's just horror movie thriller.
Exactly. Number 8.
Coming in at the 8th place, which I think I agree with, which would be Pinhead.
No, Pinhead should have been in top 5. I'm sorry, but if you've seen Hellraiser,
Which
if
I
you've
have.
seen how bloody and gory and scary them people were as kids, they'd be on the top 5.
Okay, fine. Okay, number 7, Chucky. What do you
Yeah,
guys
I agree with that place for Chucky. He's not scary.
Fair enough. Coming in on the 6th place would be Pennywise.
Uh, Pennywise should have been top 5.
I can agree with that one. First of all, he was scary. Second of all, it was crazy what they did with them. And the
Now,
books said a lot more than what the movie did.
let's discuss this for a second here because unfortunately, there are 2 Pennywises now.
The original was better.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna beat Tim Curry in a creepy spot.
But the kills on the new one, I think, are better than the old one.
Okay, so Pennywise in the old one was better. Kill scenes in the new one were better. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that.
Yep. If we're
And
going by the new one, yeah, definitely should be in top 5. I
Mr.
would
Fedora says, "I want a Pinhead versus Jason versus Freddy movie." Absolutely.
Now you gotta think about this. Who's gonna solve the cube? Would it be Jason? Hell no. Freddy? I don't think he's looking for that kind of pleasure.
I don't know. I can see this. I see where he's going. Okay, so Jason and Freddy continue their battle.
Mm-hmm.
Jason or Freddy can't get rid of Jason. No matter what he does, he can't get rid of him. So he summons Pinhead to take him back to hell for good.
But okay, when it comes to Freddy, I don't think he's smart enough to solve that cube because that cube, I think it was like very complex and like very secretive and how it moves.
Melissa says, "Please say number 1 is The Exorcist." Sorry, baby. She ain't even mentioned on here. Mr. Fedora says, "Fan theory out there say that Mary Poppins and Pennywise are one and the same entity. Think of it like a Monster Inc. theory." That's a good theory.
I don't know if I'd quite. It's not beyond belief, but I don't know if I'd quite consider that one. But I am going to move along to the 5th place, and sadly, I do have to say it was Jigsaw, and I do not agree with that at all.
I'm sorry. Jigsaw does not belong anywhere in this category.
Another
Number
thing
1,
was,
he is not a slasher. Number
yes.
2, he is a old man that is not scary. Number 3, his contraptions were freaking awesome. But he does not belong anywhere near this countdown at all.
Technicality states that he is not a murderer. He is a kidnapper, but he's not a murderer.
He is a Manson. He hires people to do his bidding.
I
Melissa
mean,
says the original Pennywise was better. Damn straight, baby.
agreed. But the kill scenes was better in the new one.
Mr. Fedora says, I was thinking that camp counselors open it in a cabin the night before camp opens. Ooh. Mr. Fedora, answer me this. How would the fight scenes come out? That's what I want to know. I want to know where your mind is with this. All right, continue down to number 4, bud.
In a top fourth, or technically in the top five, and number 4, Leatherface, which I can kind of agree with. I think that Leatherface should have been at least third.
Yeah, Leatherface should have been number 3. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre debuted in 1970,
Mm-hmm.
and like Michael Myers, was one of the first original slasher films,
Yeah,
except for Leatherface was based on true stories.
it was, and I'm not sure if the footage is real, but they showed footage in the movie of I think one of those people that hold the camera and talk to people.
Yeah,
I don't remember what they're called.
they made too many of them, like they did Friday the 13th,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sorry, but they kind of lost my interest in Leatherface when he started becoming a drag queen.
Oh, you mean how he'd put on makeup and shit?
Yeah, and the dresses and everything.
Yeah, he wanted to be next to his mother or something like that. He wanted to be like his mom.
Mr. Fedora says the second Poppins movie has a young boy named Georgie who is found by the entity have red balloons, and one uses scares and the other uses laughter. Melissa says, no, The Exorcist is the scariest movie of all time. She may not be a killer, but she's freaking scary. Damn right.
But it's not based on scary aspect.
Let's see. Jason is in the window getting ready to walk into the cabin when they summon Pinhead. Pinhead starts to do his speech when he senses Jason about to come in and gets distracted. Not sure about Freddy, but it would take place right after Freddy versus Jason. That is
Hmm.
a badass concept. I like that.
Yeah, I also like that. That'd be a really cool one. Freddy comes back for some revenge, man. He's like, "Oh, I'm taking you out this time," and then all of a sudden, Pinhead's right there.
Maybe Pinhead takes them both to hell.
That'd be a cool. All right, think about this for a second, right? He's a demon of pain, like of pain and pleasure or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if he's a demon, right? That would have to be something that makes it to where he's unnatural. Obviously, I know Jason and Freddy are unnatural, but all Freddy has is dream demons. He's not actually a dream demon. He's put into dreams from the dream demons. That's how he's able to stay alive.
Right, right.
We're not talking about Freddy, so I'll get out of that subject. But Jason, I'm pretty sure it was his mother put a curse on to allow him to come back, right?
That could be. All right, let's get down to number 3.
Number 3 would be Freddy Krueger.
I disagree with this 100%.
Tell me
Just
why.
for the simple fact that Krueger, despite him moving to comedy throughout his movies, was one of the, I guess, scariest movies of all time. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how many kids and people lost sleep after the original Nightmare on Elm Street dropped? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now,
Yeah.
a funny thing about the Nightmare on Elm Street is, okay, so everybody has heard and seen the remake, right?
I
where
have.
Freddy was an abuser. He sexually abused the kids. Well,
Which
see,
is, we're getting into a touchy subject, so you got to watch out.
they were gonna use that script in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but in California at the time, there was a lot of that going on, and it was a very taboo subject at the time. So at the last minute, they rewrote the script, and now you have the original Nightmare on Elm Street the way it was.
Yep, which
The
I do
new
actually prefer.
the remake of it, despite that dude looking like a fried cat from a Chinese restaurant that escaped, that was actually based on the actual storyline that Nightmare on Elm Street was going for.
All right. Well, fun facts for everyone. Number two, which I agree in a sense, would be Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, because Freddy should have been number one.
Mhm.
Voorhees should have been number two. Who you're about to spit out should have been number three. Leatherface should have been number four. That should have been your top four.
Leatherface is number four.
Well, Leatherface should have stayed at number four. All right, Dylan, who's number one?
Number one, coming in at first place, Michael Myers. Give him a round of applause, everyone. Yeah.
Woo! All right, guys, there you go, Melissa. Your dream man, besides myself, is number one. Warren, Mr. Fedora, says, I see Freddy playing both sides when he sees them fighting each other. And the funny thing is, I am sitting here in my red and green Freddy sweater and his brown fedora hat as I type. LOL. Hey, we're friends on Messenger, buddy. I want a picture of that. He
See,
said,
I
my
may
Freddy
support
Club
this.
next to me. I did a fast show with Jason tonight. Nice.
See, I may not support everything that has to do about Ghostface, but I am wearing his hat, so I'm showing a little support.
Melissa Ewing says, wow, true fan, Warren. Oh, yes. Me and Mr. Fedora are quite the horror movie enthusiasts. And PD Region says, Michael number one and should be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have the top 10. I am going to give you 5 minutes to answer my question. Which one of those slashers movies did Renee Zellweger make her breakout debut movie in? And I'll give you a couple of hints right now. It was not Jigsaw. It was not Chucky. But while you guys are thinking about that, we are going to have a word from our sponsor.
Hit it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to go to Parapost Central on Facebook so you can check out all of these podcasts. They are amazing. And go check out the app as well. It is also very amazing.
Indeed.
Mr. Fedora says, just send it. Melissa says, LOL. David says, LOL. I was going to say Chucky. Yeah, you
No
just
way.
Chucky's your play doll, buddy.
No
But
way. Get Chucky out of here. He doesn't even deserve it.
I have a treat for everybody here. Now, I know it's not National Freddy Day, but because Freddy is my number one dream man. And Mr. Fedora pulls him off so nicely. Here is Mr. Fedora dressed as Freddy.
Hey,
What a handsome fella, right?
indeed.
Look at them gloves.
Yeah, he pulls it off pretty well, actually.
He really does.
All he needs is a face paint.
Right? Well, all right, guys. That does it for our show tonight.
Hold on.
Once again, I'm very sorry about Mr. Mushmouth over there, Dylan. He gave you a bad show tonight.
That was my
Bad
bad, guys. I'm sorry.
Monday.
But you're forgetting one thing. What are the people's answers?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Fedora says, LOL, thank you. And those are real metal. And he says, and the answer was Leatherface. PD Region says, Texas Chainsaw, LOL. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the reveal is in. The first question to my answer was, who was the killer in Friday the 13th? Now, note, I didn't say which part. I said Friday the 13th. Trick question. Pamela Voorhees was the killer.
That's right.
And for everybody who said Renee Zellweger's breakout movie was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was technically right. Technically. But here's the thing. It just wasn't Texas Chainsaw, guys. This one actually had Mr. What the hell is his name?
Sorry,
Your
I can't
mom-
help you with any names.
Your mom has a big crush on him. That all right.
Elvis Presley.
McConaughey. Matthew
Oh,
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Okay.
And it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation.
And there you guys go.
And Mr. Warren, you did not give it away too early. But you guys were correct.
Yep.
All right, guys. Make sure to tune in just a little bit at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as Tiffany will read all of your tarot needs. From the slasher host with the most, Brian James, my nephew, the ShadowZone host, Dylan Ray.
Hello.
We would like to thank each and every one of you for watching our show tonight. This was very near and dear to me and my nephew, and we hope you guys had a great time. We are going to play the commercials, but please stay tuned for the special outro we made, and also a special look into the upcoming podcast, The Brian James Show.
I gotta say one thing before we go.
What?
I'm sorry. I have to state this out. I gotta apologize again for the very beginning and how bad it was, because I was not prepared. Next time, I think I should be more prepared, because of the fact if I'm not prepared, I start stuttering. So again,
Dylan,
sorry everyone. And back to you, Brian.
Dylan,
Yes.
shut up. All right, guys. For those of you who stayed aboard through all that and wanted to catch a sneak peek at the upcoming Brian James show, a little bit about this show is it's going to kind of be a podcast slash family, what do they call those? Reality shows.
Oh
I'm going to
yeah.
have my daughter on here. I'm going to have my wife, my nephew, my kid, my mom, my sister. You guys are going to get to know the real me and my family. And I will have special guests on as well. But I did want to show you guys a sneak peek. And as promised, I am going to play you the opening of the show. But just remember, guys, if you're in Washington State, the Washington division of the Global United Paranormal Foundation is hiring right now. To apply, just go to www.globalunitedparafound.com/join us. Now, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A sneak peek into the Brian James show. After this, I'm cutting it off. I'm not saying my goodbyes. So I love you guys.